Close your eyes and forget what the world has told you about time, effort, and struggle. Let go of the noise that says you must chase, strive, and sacrifice endlessly to become rich. That is not how reality works. Not truly. Your time has come, not tomorrow, not next year, but now. The riches you seek are already yours in the invisible. They exist in the only place that truly matters, your inner world. You see, you were never meant to beg life for abundance. You were meant to command it silently through your assumption. When you walk in the feeling that you already possess millions, something begins to shift. The outer world may appear unchanged, but do not be deceived by appearances. The seed of wealth has already been planted in the invisible, and it must grow. All manifestation begins with one thing: imagination fused with belief. When you see yourself as already wealthy, when you feel the millions in your hands, when you walk through life knowing your bank account overflows, the universe begins to mirror that certainty. There is no power greater than your awareness. To dwell in the state of wealth is to make wealth inevitable. You cannot be poor in consciousness and expect to be rich in experience. You must become it first, within. So I ask you now, can you feel what it's like to never worry about money again? Can you smile knowing that your time has come and nothing can stop the flow that's already begun? Can you accept, without needing to know how or when, that the millions are yours? And if you dare to believe, if you dare to assume and dwell and rest in that knowing, then the world must conform. Doors will open, opportunities will appear, circumstances will shift, not because you fought for them, but because you became the version of yourself that already had them. This is not magic, this is law. You are not hoping for riches, you are expressing them through the identity you now wear. So speak this within: I am rich, I am wealthy, I have millions, my life is filled with abundance. Not as a wish, but as a present fact. Let the feeling take over you now. Let it consume the doubts. Replace every fear with the certainty that this moment is the beginning of your new life. The time is now. Your time has come. You will have millions. You will manifest millions. The time is now. All riches begin in the unseen. Before millions appear in your hands, they must first be claimed in the mind. Everything that is visible was once invisible. Every building, every piece of wealth, every invention, every fortune ever made began as a thought, a vision held firmly in the inner world of imagination. There is no outer success without inner conviction. What you hold in imagination with faith becomes your reality. The process of creation begins not with action, but with inner assumption. Your imagination is not a toy. It is not fantasy. It is the creative workshop of the world. It is where your future is born. The error most make is waiting to see before they believe. But the law is reversed. Believe it and you will see it, not the other way around. When you imagine having millions, truly feel it, and persist in that assumption, your outer world begins to change. You are planting seeds with every thought and watering them with every feeling, and eventually they must grow. You cannot entertain poverty in your mind and expect riches in your life. You cannot feel lack and call forth abundance. The subconscious mind does not argue or reason, it simply accepts the dominant feeling as truth. And what it accepts, it brings forth. So if you feel wealthy within, if you walk as though you already possess the millions you desire, if you speak and think and breathe from that state, the world must reflect that truth. Cannot do otherwise. People are always asking, what do I do to become rich? But the real question is, what must I believe? The actions will follow your belief. They are the shadows of your assumptions. So if you assume that you are already wealthy, you will naturally act from that place. Your behavior, your choices, your energy They all align with the inner state. You are not trying to become rich. You are being rich. Inwardly, now. Imagination is the seed of wealth because it creates the feeling of possession, and it is feeling that manifests. A man who imagines wealth vividly and consistently, even in the face of contrary evidence, will draw to himself the exact conditions, people, and opportunities to bring it into form. The outer world is clay. It molds itself to the inner pattern. You cannot skip this step. You cannot bypass imagination and force your way to abundance. Labor without inner vision is wasted effort. Millions do not come through struggle, they come through alignment. And alignment begins with the image you hold of yourself. Do you see yourself as rich, successful, abundant, worthy, or are you still imagining from the perspective of lack? Change your inner movie. Rewrite the script. See yourself surrounded by the results you desire. Feel them. Hear the words people would say to you if you had already succeeded. See the money in your hands, the home you desire, the freedom you crave. Hold that image, not once, but again and again. Persist in it. Let it become natural. The moment you accept this inner reality as truth, the outer must mirror it. You are the source. Imagination is not just a tool, it is the power. And when it is used consciously, deliberately, with faith, it becomes the doorway to everything you desire. Millions are not outside you, they are within you, waiting for you to see them. Imagine wisely, you are already the millionaire. This truth may seem hidden by what your eyes see or what your bank account says, but appearances are deceptive. The world around you is a mirror, faithfully reflecting not what is true in the highest sense, but what you persist in believing. And if you constantly believe you are on the way to wealth, chasing it, striving toward it, you affirm by your very belief that you do not yet possess it. But the secret is this: you do not need to chase what is already yours, you need only to assume it. The moment you accept that you are already wealthy in consciousness, the world begins to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. Assumption is not pretending, it is not wishful thinking, it is stepping into the role of the person who already has what they desire and living from that state. You must feel it real. You must carry yourself as the one who already knows that abundance is not coming, it is here. You must eat, walk, speak, and rest as one who has already received the millions. Because in the unseen realm, you have. And what exists in that invisible world, when believed in, must show itself in time. There is a vast difference between wanting wealth and being wealth. Wanting implies separation. Being implies union. When you want something, you push it away with your very desire. But when you assume the feeling of already having it, you draw it closer. The universe responds to your state, not your words. It moves to reflect the version of you that you most consistently inhabit. And if that version is rich, abundant, secure, then the circumstances that surround you must align with that reality. You are not becoming rich, you are remembering that you already are. There is a version of you now, living in opulence, flowing in financial freedom, surrounded by beauty and ease. That version exists within you. You do not need to create it. You need only to merge with it. You do this by feeling it as true, by acting from it, even in the silence of your mind, by walking in the confidence of someone who knows their worth and is no longer begging life for approval or prosperity. This is the power of assumption. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. When you stop chasing, you start allowing. When you stop reaching, you begin receiving. When you stop affirming separation, you claim unity with the thing you desire. And the world, being obedient, reflects the change in you. Money is not the cause of wealth, consciousness is. Your outer riches are nothing but the shadow of your inner wealth. Begin now to affirm silently and with certainty, I am the millionaire. Not, I will be. Not, I hope to be. But I am. Let that feeling settle deep in your body. Let it echo through your heart. Let it color every thought, every word, every step. This is not fantasy, it is law. And when you live in that assumption long enough, the world cannot help but show you what you already are. You are already the millionaire. There is nothing to chase, there is only something to accept. You do not wish your way into abundance, you assume it. You live it inwardly, and then the outer must follow. This is the law of consciousness, the sacred truth hidden behind all creation. What you hold as true within yourself becomes the world you walk through. Outer circumstances are not causes, they are effects. They are mirrors reflecting the inner convictions you carry, whether conscious or unconscious. To change the outer, you must first transform the inner. And nothing changes outwardly until it is first accepted inwardly as real. Wishing is passive. It keeps your desire at a distance. When you wish, you admit you do not yet have. You reinforce lack. But assumption is different. It is bold. It says, this is already mine. It feels the truth of the desire fulfilled and moves through life as though the manifestation were already complete. When you hold an inner conviction and you feel it as though it is already so, the world must rise up to meet that belief. The universe does not respond to what you say you want, it responds to who you are being. And who you are being is determined by what you assume to be true. If you assume you are poor, limited, or struggling, no matter how hard you work, your life will continue to echo those beliefs. But if you dare to assume you are rich, abundant, and favored, even when appearances suggest otherwise, you plant new seeds in the soil of your consciousness, and the harvest will come. It is inevitable. This inner conviction must be lived, not just spoken. You cannot simply repeat words and expect results if those words are not supported by feeling. Feeling is the secret key that unlocks the door between your inner world and the outer one. You must feel what it is like to have already received your desire, to walk in the assurance that it is already done. When you hold to that inner state, even if the world around you remains unchanged, something begins to shift. You have moved into a different vibration and reality must catch up. Do not wait for confirmation from the outside world. That is not faith. That is doubt disguised as caution. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to your assumption. Do not look for signs. Be the sign. Do not ask when it will happen. Know it already has. The moment you claim your desire within and accept it as your reality, you set unseen forces in motion. They will bring about the people, opportunities, and conditions needed to fulfill that assumption. This is not fantasy. This is creation. You are not here to react to the world, you are here to create it. And you do so by holding firm to your inner convictions. Every great achievement began as a quiet inner knowing. Every fortune began as a decision to no longer entertain lack. So begin now. Choose the conviction that serves you. Choose to be the one who already has. Choose to walk as though your wealth, your freedom, your joy are already present. And hold that state, not for a moment, but until it becomes your natural way of being. The outer world is slow to change, but it must change. For it is only the echo of your inner self. Inner conviction creates outer circumstance. Always. The only time you can manifest is now, not tomorrow, not someday, not when the conditions seem right or the bank account changes, but now. The present moment is your point of power. It is the doorway through which all creation enters. There is no future creation. There is only the now, repeated and sustained. Whatever you plant in the present is what grows into your future. And yet, most people live outside this truth. They wait, they postpone their belief, they delay their assumption of the wish fulfilled. But the truth is, now is the only moment that creates. If you are always waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the right sign, you will wait forever. The mind will trick you into thinking the power lies ahead, somewhere just out of reach. But creation is not about conditions, it is about consciousness. And your consciousness operates only in the now. You can remember the past, you can imagine the future, but you can only create in this very moment. Whatever state you occupy now becomes your reality. Your job is not to make things happen, it is to assume that they already have, right now, within. You may look at your surroundings and say, but nothing has changed. That is irrelevant. What you see is the past in motion. Your current reality is merely a reflection of previous assumptions and old beliefs. To birth something new, you must abandon the evidence and claim the unseen. You must enter into the feeling that your desire is already yours before it appears. And you must do it now, not when you feel worthy, not when things improve, not when you have proof, but now. This is the discipline of manifestation, to dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled before anything outside of you confirms it, to step into the version of yourself that already has what you desire and live from that version, not in some future moment, but in the present. When you do this, when you fully embody your desire, here and now, you shift your state of being. And that shift must be answered. The present moment holds everything you need. It holds infinite potential. You can create a new identity, a new story, a new life by deciding right now who you are. Not who you were, not who others say you are, but who you claim to be in this moment. Do not underestimate the power of that decision. All change begins with an inner movement, a choice to no longer live by old narratives. The world bends not to time, but to your assumption of self. And when that assumption becomes firm, when it is saturated with feeling, the world has no choice but to mirror it. There is no power in hoping for a better tomorrow. There is only power in assuming a better now. Do not speak of what will be, speak from what already is. Feel it now, live it now, believe it now. The present is the only place where creation lives. Everything else is illusion. You are not a victim of time, you are the master of it. And the moment you realize that everything you desire is waiting for you to claim it, not in some distant future, but right here, right now, you step into true power. Persist in the inner experience of wealth, regardless of what your eyes see, regardless of what your senses report. This is the secret known by those who shape their reality rather than react to it. The outer world is not fixed, it is fluid. It is a mirror that reflects the dominant feeling you dwell in. Not just once, not just in fleeting moments, but consistently, until that feeling hardens into fact. You are not here to observe reality as it is. You are here to mold it into what it must become by dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feeling is the foundation of all manifestation. Thought alone does not create. Words spoken without emotion are weak. But the feeling, the deep embodied conviction that what you desire is already yours, this is the power that reshapes your world. When you feel it real, when you close your eyes and step into the version of yourself who already possesses what you long for, you begin to align with that version. And through repetition, through persistence, through unwavering belief, that unseen state becomes your external reality. You must persist in this inner experience even when everything around you contradicts it. Especially then. You must feel wealthy when the bills pile up, when the account runs low, when the world tempts you to bow to appearances. This is the test. This is the threshold. Will you break under what seems real, or will you hold to what you know is true within? Because truth is not determined by facts. It is determined by what you dare to accept as real. And when you accept wealth within, the world must reflect wealth without. This is not about faking or forcing. It is about returning again and again to the feeling of abundance until it becomes natural, until it becomes the place you live from, not visit occasionally. Your mind may wander, doubts may arise, but your job is to return. Return to the feeling. Return to the inner scene where your desire is already complete. Repeat it with faith, with love, with gratitude, not out of desperation, but out of certainty. Because you know that the longer you dwell in that inner reality, the more powerful it becomes, until it solidifies into fact. Reality is slow to catch up, but it always does. It cannot resist the one who persists. Most people give up too soon. They test the waters of imagination and then retreat at the first sign of contradiction. But you must go deeper. You must make the inner world more real than the outer. You must trust that the unseen is more powerful than the seen. This is where true creation happens, not by force, but by faithful feeling. So feel it, not later, now. Feel the joy of wealth, feel the security, feel the ease. Let it flood your heart, let it lift your posture, let it inform your decisions. Live from that state, and do not waver, even when the world says otherwise. Because your feeling is the root, and your world is the fruit. Persist in the inner experience until it hardens into fact, and it will. For reality is always bending to the dominant feeling you refuse to let go of. You do not become wealthy by merely working harder. You become wealthy by assuming that you already are. It is not effort alone that brings riches. It is identity. Who are you within yourself? What do you believe about your place in the world? What do you claim as yours before the world confirms it? The one who assumes the state of wealth and remains in that assumption will inevitably see the world rise to match it. What you assume long enough, you become. Most people believe they must wait for conditions to change before they can feel successful, secure, or abundant. But this is the reverse of truth. The law of creation works from the inside out. You must first feel wealthy within, regardless of appearances, and hold to that feeling until it impresses itself upon your reality. Your outer life is nothing more than the mirror of your inner state. If you assume poverty, if you identify with lack, struggle, or insufficiency, that no matter how much you do, the results will return to match your belief. But if you dare to assume wealth, even when the world gives you no reason to, that assumption begins to shape your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, and your reality bends in response. Assumption is not daydreaming, it is not pretending, it is belief in motion. It is choosing again and again to identify with the version of yourself who already possesses what you once only desired. It is moving from wishing to being. When you assume wealth, you begin to carry yourself differently. You speak from a new level of confidence. You feel secure. You think clearly. You are no longer desperate, no longer hoping. You know. You have accepted it as real. And this knowing transforms your entire energy field. It draws in the people, situations, and opportunities that reflect the inner state you hold. But assumption requires persistence. It is not a one-time event. It must be lived, breathed, carried like a deep knowing that no outer evidence can shake. At first, it may feel false. You may find it difficult to believe what your senses deny. But if you remain faithful, if you continue to walk in that state, something remarkable happens. It becomes you. What was once an imagined scene becomes a lived reality. The line between assumption and fact blurs and then disappears. This is how you shift your destiny, not by begging, not by chasing, but by becoming. What you assume, you fuse with. And once fused, it cannot be denied you. Life becomes the expression of your inner stance. And just as the actor eventually becomes the role through repetition and commitment, so too do you become the wealth you have dared to assume. So begin now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Step into the identity of one who already has. Ask yourself, how would I think if I had it? How would I feel? What would I do? And then live from that place. Repeat it. Embody it. Let that version of yourself become the dominant presence within you. And soon, the world will echo back the truth you've held all along. What you assume long enough, you become. This is the secret. This is the law. You now know the truth. Your time has come. Not tomorrow, not one day, now. The power to manifest millions, to live in wealth, to become all that your heart dares to imagine lies within you. Not in effort alone, not in what the world tells you is possible, but in what you boldly assume to be true. You are not waiting on life. Life is waiting on you to awaken, to feel it real, and to persist in that inner conviction until your reality reflects it. You are already the millionaire. You are already the one who lives in abundance. Let go of the struggle. Stop trying to make it happen with force. Walk as though it's already yours. Let the feeling of wealth become your home. Let the present moment be your point of creation. Assume it, feel it, be it, and watch as the world rearranges itself around your belief. Thank you for listening. Thank you for daring to believe in your own power. Thank you for choosing this moment, your moment, to claim what has always been yours. Stay faithful to your vision. Persist in the assumption. And remember, you do not need to chase millions. You only need to become the version of yourself who already has them. The time is now, and you are ready.